Now, ever since Donald Trump took over the American presidency, a lot has transpired in the United States. And here's a lowdown on the biggest developments in the last 24 hours, and also what else will be making headlines later in the day. Now, Trump's billionaire loyalist and the de facto head of Doge, Elon Musk, reached Pentagon for his meetings with senior military leaders and the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. But the visit was already marred in controversy after a New York Times report claimed that the Tesla and the SpaceX owner will allegedly be briefed on America's military plans on the scenario of a war with China. Now, the New York Times says that two officials have confirmed these details, while a third confirmed that China was on the agenda but did not share more information. However, shortly after the report was published, the U.S. president denied the claims. In a social media post, Donald Trump alleged that the New York Times was spreading fake news. He said that China will not even be mentioned during Musk's visit. Now, the article is the latest to stir an already brimming pot of controversies against Elon Musk. Donald Trump appointed the billionaire to lead the Department of Government Efficiency and tasked it with slashing government spending. But ever since Musk became involved in some of the biggest decisions of the administration, the opposition and the critics have been alarmed by the unchecked powers. Now, several lawsuits have been filed in the court or allegations that Elon Musk's appointment is simply unconstitutional since the U.S. Congress did not approve it. All right, now to give us more details on this, we're joined by our correspondent Susan Tehrani, who's joining us live from New York. Susan, this is, as unprecedented, if one could put it that way, that Elon Musk could be briefed about the possibility of a possible war with China when he's at the Pentagon. What are we to make sense of?
It was just a week ago when the New York Times had to go back and write a huge scathing opinion piece about how they were misled about COVID. And once again, we have unnamed sources coming out of outlets like the New York Times, NBC News, saying that this is happening when officials are saying that China won't be discussed. We'll learn more about what this visit is. But from what we've seen so far, usually people that are on the record and say something, it tends to be that way. But it's not that way when it comes to the Trump administration. The media talks about unnamed sources, anonymous sources, and then key officials come and counter that. And then this whole kind of frenzy erupts. So for what it's worth, what's on the record is Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump saying that he's coming to the Pentagon not to talk about China, but talk about innovation and efficiency. Perhaps it's about Doge's activities in the Pentagon, considering the fact that the Pentagon hasn't been able to really justify its spendings in the past decades or so. Year after year, it comes out short of saying where the money that's sent to the Pentagon is being allocated. Elon Musk may be talking about that, but I think we'll get a better understanding about what all of these discussions is at around 11 a.m., which is less than 15 minutes, 20 minutes from now, where President Trump and Pete Hegseth, the new defense secretary, are expected to address the media. So we'll take the unnamed sources with a grain of salt. We'll have to verify whether or not China is on the agenda. But as for now, what we have on the record is that he's not talking about a quote-unquote possible war with China. Wow.
Interesting. Thank you very much indeed, Susan Tehrani, for joining us with all those details there. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.